Hi guys, a very warm welcome to you from Dubai. My name is Ash and welcome to episode 13 of our fragrance reviews on fragEMARAT. Today I'll be talking about a perfume discovery that I made from a brand which is well known among the fragrance community by the name of PARFUMS de MARLY, and the fragrance that I'm going to be talking about is PERCIVAL. Now, PERCIVAL comes in EDP concentration in a 125 ml bottle, and it's pretty similar to the style of bottles that all the PARFUMS de MARLY bottles come in, and it's your typical crest embossed on a bottle where you can't see the juice. It's a solid bottle all around. And the cap, as their signature cap, is quite heavy in nature, and there is a batch code at the bottom with all the details about the fragrance. I've been trying most of the fragrances from this house over the last couple of months, and I walked into a few of their boutiques that are spread across in Dubai. And also Bloomingdale's has like a small section where they have their range displayed, and I've tried most of the fragrances from this house. Some of the ones that are most popular are Herod, Leighton Exclusive, Carlisle, but most of those fragrances are aimed more towards a more dressy nature, like if you're going out for for dinner, or if you're going out at night for a party or something, and you would use that mostly because they're quite bold, and most of these fragrances that this house makes are mostly suited for the evening wear, as I must say. So I was actually looking for fragrance from this house that was a little fresh take on the fragrance, because that's what I wanted to get into initially, because it's summertime and I wanted something fresh and something that I could use in the daytime. So I tried a couple of fragrances from this brand, and I was not very impressed because I didn't find what I was looking for, and I left. And a couple of weeks later, I got a small sample from a friend of mine in one of these small bottles. I'll just show it to you. In one of these small bottles, the sample was of PERCIVAL, and I had about 10 ml, I think 10 or 15 ml of the juice in this small sample. A friend actually gave it to me. He said, I bought this because you recommended this brand, and I bought this one instead, PERCIVAL, and here's a sample, and try it out. So I took the sample from him, and I just let it be at home for a couple of weeks, and then I picked it up, and I actually started spraying in the morning before I went to work. A couple of sprays on my neck. Of course, it lasted me a whole week, and that's the story that I want to tell today about this fragrance. Of course, when I went to the PARFUMS de MARLY store, I actually tried PERCIVAL as well, but it was like whatever, I just brushed it off and left. When I finally did start using the sample that was given to me by a dear friend of mine, that's when I found out that this perfume definitely has more than what you might get when you first try it in a store. So I have been using PERCIVAL now over a month, and it took me a while to bring out this review because I've not been quite active releasing more of the reviews as I used to before, but eventually I'll start getting back into reviewing more fragrances for you guys. So about PERCIVAL, this is a fragrance that you might not appreciate in the first time you smell it. Of course, you will like it on its opening. It's really pungent, sharp, citrus. It's basically a citrus aromatic kind of fragrance, and it will definitely give you that little kick in your nose kind of a feeling. It's quite strong and pungent in its opening, because in the opening the top two ingredients are bergamot and mandarin. So right on top there is a burst of citruses coming out of Percival. So you might think that yes, it's a fresh kind of a fragrance, but what's there to it? The thing about Percival is pure performance. It's a very fresh, a very energetic fragrance, and something that will always keep you active and always keep you alert. Let's say, like, you're always smelling, and always it's pumping you up throughout the day, because it's such a beautiful fragrance and a fresh fragrance that is done right in every aspect. I mean, mostly the fresh fragrances are quite generic, and they are quite similar in their DNA. Whereas Percival, even though the opening is on the fresh bergamot and mandarin style of fragrance, which are very apparent in many similar kind of ingredients or similar kind of perfumes with these ingredients, Percival outshines all of them, at least in my opinion. So how does it do that? Well, for first, it is not on the sweeter side. It is more on the it has a balsamic side to it, which is kind of a metallic side towards the mid of the fragrance. By metallic or balsamic, please don't get put off. It's not at all in a bad way. The ingredients used in this fragrance are really top notch, so you're not getting something cheap that you might get in a designer fragrance, even though I'm sure the formulation has a lot of synthetic components, but it smells really rich and really regal, in my opinion. And it is something that you have to put your nose to, and if you can score basically get a sample of it like I did and use it over a period of a week, you will then realize the true potential. So I spoke about the opening, which has bergamot and mandarin. In the mid, it has lavender and geranium. Now I cannot get the lavender. There is a little bit of a sweetness to it, which is of course caused by the lavender, but the lavender is not that prominent as the lavender in other fragrances. You get the lavender in the mid notes, but it's not lavender centric, but it does have a little bit of a sweet balsamic kind of a vibe in the mid. And towards the base, towards the real far end of when the fragrance settles down on your skin, there is a woody kind of a nice mild woody kind of a sense to the smell. And there is also something called an ingredient called balsamic fir, which gives it that sour taste, sour smell, which is, I think, the metallic notes are coming from this balsamic fir, which is not bad in any way. It still smells absolutely fantastic, and it's something that you should definitely try if you get a chance. The full retail price of the 125 ml bottle, I think it comes only in 125 ml if I'm not mistaken. The full retail price of this is roughly around 280 to 200 and close to the $300 mark. So it's quite on the pricier side. Of course, if you go pay full retail price, that's the price that I just quoted. But if you can get this from your favorite perfume store at a discount, definitely go for it, and definitely look around before you pay full retail price for this. Not to say that it's not worthy of full retail price, it absolutely is, but my experience, I've been using it so much and I've been so much in love with it. I'm definitely sure that I'll run out of this fragrance in the next couple of months, because everybody at home has also been using it. So that's how much we love it. Now about the performance, which is the most important part when you are buying a fragrance, and also especially when you're buying a freshie in the summer. Now the performance is what drove me to it. Apart from the smell, of course, it's a very addictive smell that you always want to use it. That's the kind of fragrance Percival is. So the performance is outstanding, okay, and I'll explain to you a few scenarios. As you guys know, I use my kids, my boys, to test out my fragrances whenever I buy them, and most of the reviews that I put out, I don't put out reviews as often as the other channels do, because I'm a personal user and I don't I like to use the fragrance over a period of time before I have formulated an opinion, right? So as I told you, I bought Percival a month ago, and I've been using it, and of course I had the sample well before, so I've been using it over a period of 2 months. So the opinion that I'm giving you is something that is from wearing it for many occasions, and during for a long period of time. So I put the fragrance on my son in the morning at around 8 a.m. Immediately after he had a shower, and I went to work. I came back in the evening at 4:30, and I took my son for a run, because now the schools are off and most of the kids are just at home doing nothing. So I take this as an opportunity to do some physical activities with them. So I took my son for a run, and that was at 6 in the evening. Now he had just worn 3 sprays, 2 on his neck, 1 on his chest, and it was from 8 in the morning all the way to 6 in the evening. But that's when we started. He had been wearing it for that long, and 6 in the evening is when we started doing our run. Now immediately after we finished our run, and he was just kind of resting and having a sip of water after a few laps, I immediately got this burst of Percival coming from him. That's how amazing and excellent the performance has been, at least for me, and at least I can say that because he was sweating and he was warm because he just had a run, so his body's kind of really hot or flaming at this time, and that's when the beauty of this fragrance comes out, and it maintains the fragrance throughout the time that you wear it. It doesn't change. So the opening is fresh, and then you have the balsamic sweetness with the lavender, and then you have the metallic woody base, which gives it that beautiful smell. So it is fresh and smelling great all the time. That's how great Percival is. Definitely highly recommend this, as at least for me it's been the king of freshies. And if you get a chance to try this, don't miss out the chance. Go to a store and try out Percival, and if you can score a sample from the sales attendant, do that, because I know Parfums de Marly gives out samples for most of their fragrances if they have them in stock. I mean, I just love it. I'm smelling it all the time, and I'm just loving the fragrance. I think for me, this is a signature scent all the way, at least for me. I love it so much, and I'm sure that if you are in the lookout for a freshie that is completely different than what is out there, you will surely appreciate it. It also has a bit of that salty. When I say balsamic, I also want to emphasize that there is that salty seawater coastal kind of vibe, but mixed with that lemon, the bergamot, mixed with that mandarin, mixed with the lavender. It's just a beautiful fragrance. Definitely highly recommended. So that's my review on Percival. Please do like, share and subscribe this content if you find it informative, and do share it with your friends, colleagues and family. If you can, it would definitely help my subscribers and also help my channel out, so I can keep bringing more content to you guys. I kind of get motivated every time people comment or people subscribe and people like the video, so it motivates me to bring more content to you guys. I mean, I don't do this as a business, just do it as an hobbyist. So it really encourages me to get your feedback and also your support. The complete unboxing of the fragrance can be seen on our Instagram channel, and what I do is I review the fragrance reviews are on YouTube, and the presentation and unboxing of the fragrances I have kept it for our Instagram page. So please do follow us on Instagram as well, and please keep coming back for more videos in the future. Thank you.